Hi, friends. I'm Emily Lay, and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you need a few minutes to filter out the noise and the hustle, then this is it. You're in the right place. Every week, I invite you to slow down and explore how to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. Happy New Year, guys! I hope you had fun swapping out your calendar and ringing in the new year with family and friends. If you joined us for our bonus series last week, you heard all about how we're preparing for the new year here at Simplified. It's one of our favorite times of year because we love getting a fresh start. If you haven't listened yet, it's all right there for you in your podcast app. Prepping for the new year is something we spend a lot of time on every year at Simplified. But even with the best laid plans, sometimes January can feel a little bit like whiplash. Am I right or am I right? Just a few weeks ago, 1 week ago, we were lounging around with family and friends, making memories, reaching for Christmas cookies, and staying up late to watch one more movie. Work dialed down for a bit, the kids were home from school, the days felt a little bit longer and looser, and then came January. You're back in car line, back to deadlines, and on top of it all, there's messages coming at you to do and be more when it's already hard enough to be and do what's already on your plate. I have 3 words for that. No, thank you. There's nothing wrong with thinking about where you are and where you want to be. It's not harmful to think about how you want your day to run, how you want to set up your house so that it's a place you enjoy coming home to. It's not bad to want to make a few changes. I think where we get lost is when we feel like we have to do these things. We have to overhaul our lives this time of year. We have to make big changes or they don't count. But here's the thing about life. It's a long game. There's a whole lot of merit to getting your carpe diem on and seizing the day, but the world we're living in makes us feel like we have to get it all done at once, and that is just not possible. While it's not as glamorous as an instant before and after, at its best, slow and steady progress feels good while you're doing it. In the moment, it feels good in a small way to see a little thing that you've done. Fast forward a few months, and with the gift of hindsight and current results, you'll be floored by your progress. But sometimes in the moment, slow and steady can feel a little boring. It can feel so frustrating when you don't see results quickly. And if you feel like you don't have time to wait on results, then, sister, I completely understand why you feel this way. But don't ever let anyone tell you that small steps don't add up. Don't ever let anyone tell you this time of year that you need to change it all and you need to do it right now, because you don't. Take your house, for instance. If you look around your house and you see a bit more stuff than you'd like, stuff that's not in its place or never found one to begin with, I completely understand the urge that says, get rid of it all and do it right now. But if you think you have to do it all at once, how does that make you feel? If you're me, it makes you want to hide under the covers. But you don't have to do that. Do you know what you could do instead? Divide up the goal. You're not a failure for doing that. You're a smart person for doing that, and a realistic one. You're a person who's responsible with her energy and motivation. This is the time of year you may want to start throwing it all out. Maybe you want to get rid of some clutter so you can give your home a visual fresh start. You know I'm a fan of a ruthless declutter. But I wonder how you'd feel if you organized your stuff 1 drawer and 1 cabinet and 1 closet at a time. Let's find out together. This new year, I'm going to teach you how to zero in on a very targeted ruthless declutter. It's a skill you can carry to other rooms and nooks and crannies in your home, but having this technique in your back pocket is going to be a game changer. Let's talk about how to simplify your closets. We're going to start here. Your primary closet, your kids' closet, and your hall closet or linen closet, everything else closets. Step 1, make a plan. I can't say it enough. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So get comfortable with the fact that you may be able to tackle 1 room at a time. That might mean you tackle a closet a day, maybe 1 a week or a month, depending on how much time you have. Give yourself the time and grace to go little by little. When you're ready to start, make a list of every closet you need to tackle. This might seem like a really small detail, but being able to see what you need to do will make it easier to get the job done. Then figure out which closet you want to start with. I usually start with the primary closet because it's something I look at every single day. When I finish cleaning it out and see how great it looks, that gives me an extra little boost to tackle everything else. Or maybe you want to start with your most daunting closet. If you start with the scary closet first, you'll be so happy when it's finished. Every other closet will look like a piece of cake. Step 2, designate a get it out of here space. If it's possible, I recommend choosing a space that's out of sight or behind a door that you can close. I usually designate our guest room as our get it out of here space because it's the least trafficked room in our home, and I can shut the door on my work in progress anytime I need to. Wherever your get it out of here space is, this is where you can sort all of your items during your ruthless declutter and store everything you're donating until you can arrange a pickup or drop it off. Step 3, get started. All right, friend, this might seem like the hardest part, but we're going to make get started as easy as possible. I usually start my closet declutter by putting on my favorite Pump It Up Spotify playlist to make the time go a little faster. When you're ready to begin, go to your closet of choice and pull out everything. And I mean that. Pull out every single thing. Every shirt, every shoe, every belt, every shoebox crammed into the back of your closet that you swore you'd use to wrap Christmas presents. When everything's out, start reviewing each item one by one. And here's a pro tip. If you want to feel the power of transformation and a calming sense of simplicity, get rid of everything you are iffy about. And I'm serious here. If it isn't the best, if it isn't your favorite, if it isn't a family heirloom, if it's something that you have multiples of, if it's something you haven't used in the last 6 months, just get rid of it. Step 4, decide what to keep. Once you've completely decluttered your closet, decide what to do with the items you've decided to keep. Here's an easy place to start. Always store similar items together. Because when all the washcloths are stored in the hall closet, you know exactly where to go when you need one or when you need to put one away. As you declutter each closet, I bet you'll come across special family heirlooms. Heirlooms can be tricky because you might feel obligated to keep every single thing. Your grandma's vase, your mom's favorite costume jewelry, every piece of your kid's artwork from school ever. I've got a solution. You can retire the must-keep items into a box or two that you've designated as your keepsake boxes. Brian and I store our keepsake boxes in our primary closet. We each have 2 boxes, one for our photographs and one for mementos, or what we call treasures. We also have 3 more keepsake boxes, one for each of our kids that includes their photos, mementos, and art projects. When we add new stuff, sometimes we'll transition out a few items to make room for the new ones. And here's a little secret. It's okay if you don't keep every single piece of artwork or flower your kids give to you. I give you permission to let some of these things go. But if you do want to keep these memories with you, you could take a photo of each art piece on your phone, then make a Shutterfly album out of them. You could send them into Framebridge and make a gallery wall of their art in their rooms. You could even make a good old-fashioned scrapbook out of your kids' artwork. There's a ton of ways to preserve the memory of heirlooms that mean a lot to us, even if we don't want to keep them around. And here's another thing to remember. It is entirely possible to over-organize your stuff. Don't buy a bunch of little containers and fancy labels just because they'll look nice in your Instagram photo. Sort and store your stuff in ways that actually work for your real, actual life. Put hooks near the front door and put your go-to bags and backpacks there. It'll make the morning rush a lot easier. Don't feel like you have to put your kids' shoes in individual boxes with adorable labels when a shoe rack will do just fine. Once you've made your way through your closets and you've placed back everything you want to keep, it's time to figure out what to do with your donations. Many organizations like the Salvation Army will come to your home to pick up donations, or you can deliver the items yourself to Goodwill. Time to bag them up and give them away. The faster you donate them, the better you'll feel. It's important that we pause here and acknowledge that you're almost guaranteed to need to hit pause on any organizational project. Kids are going to fight, the doorbell's going to ring, an important work project's going to come up. Even if you tackle this process in 10-minute increments, remember that you are making progress. Little by little, keep going. All of your efforts will amount to big change. As we close out this episode, I would like to say a blessing for you as we leave this time together and get back into our days. I hope you have a wild, bright hope for the days ahead, and an armful of loved ones you get to spend them with. I hope your home is a place of rest and joy, a place where you can let your shoulders down and slip on the warm comfort of being known. I hope you begin this brand new year with a truckload of confidence in who you are and a gentle peace over who you're becoming. As always, I like to leave a little tip to help you put what we've talked about today into practice. If you plan to store a hodgepodge of items in your closet, one of the easiest ways to give everything a sense of order is to put your items in storage containers. And listen, you do not have to make this fancy. You can get some baskets from a local shop, or you can use some shoe boxes or whatever you have on hand. If you need to store a bunch of small items in a basket, like a collection of chapsticks or multiple containers of floss, try using zip-top bags to keep them all in one place instead of rattling around. You can make it fancy later, but that is not the goal here. The goal is to give you some peace of mind. And when you open up the door to an organized closet, I think that's exactly how you'll feel. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. I hope today's episode gave you a boost of calm and confidence as you head into the new year and build the life and home you want for yourself. You can find show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, where you can check out links and resources I mentioned here, and you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. Plus, for more simplicity tips, you can find me on Instagram at emilylay and at Simplified. If you are loving this show, I bet you might like my latest book called Growing Boldly, Dare to Build a Life You Love, which is in stores right now wherever you buy books. Plus, also, please, I have a small favor before you go. If you're loving the show, would you consider leaving a review at your favorite podcast provider? This helps our show get into the hands of more people who might enjoy it. Thank you so much for doing that. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye.